What up, chat? Thank you for the oh Jesus, thank you for the lurk as well. We got some stuff to talk about today regarding marathon. More specifically, things in the game, not necessarily how the game is performing. There is a lot of talk about that, um, and I do hope that it does grow and is able to maintain a steady player base. But we're not talking about that right now. Today we're going to talk about my review of the game. Okay, I got some key points here that I got some notes here that I can pull up and look over some key points that I want to talk about the game and about specific characters in the game and how they can make them better and whatnot like that. So, but before we get into it, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having a nice Monday. It's a nice, cool Monday here. I do wish I had a little bit of warm coffee, to be honest. I'm a little cold. I'm thinking about getting a cup of coffee, just a small cup, just to warm up the bones a little bit. Um, should I do that real quick, chat? Should I do a little coffee real quick? What y'all think? See or no? Send it. Okay. All right. Let me get some coffee rolling real quick because I am a cold boy. 1 second. 1 second. There's also something I want to talk about when it comes to CS. There's something crazy that happened in CS. Okay. And I personally find it to be extremely out of touch. We're also going to react to a very high level marathon player and break down his play and his movement and stuff like that. Just because I want to do it as a YouTube video. But I hope you guys are okay with me pivoting and focusing more on marathon content because it's just what I'm really into right now. It's what I'm really enjoying. And I've been having a blast with the game. And I think one of my strong suits, is being analytical. I actually got asked by a team when I played Siege and made videos for Siege to be an analyst. It was only tier 3, but I definitely think I could have went really far with being an analyst for one of the teams. So, and I really like breaking down things, looking at things objectively, analyzing them. That's probably why I went to school, got a business degree, and then got a certificate in data analytics. So, but I do really like analyzing things and seeing what can be improved, what is really good, what I can adapt or what I can pick up on and whatnot. And I'd love to do that for marathon. So I hope you guys don't mind my little bit of a pivot here for a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this a video on for you guys. It's my video, so I know you guys will enjoy it. But I'm gonna go make a coffee and I'll be right back. I didn't realize how cold it was. Hold on, guys. So today I got you guys a very intense duo queue game. Me and my buddy actually queued up on the very first day that Perimeter duo queue was out with the experimental thing playlist that they got going, whatever, right? And it's honestly made me really excited for duos in the future. In all honesty, I mean, like I was thinking about it when we were playing duos. Outpost is going to be a blast. I did realize there's not any rooks in duo queue. Maybe that'll be added later or something. But this one was pretty intense. It started off pretty slow, and then just everything broke out. Everything. Okay, we wiped the entire lobby and whatnot. Almost got killed, etc. It was a really good game, and I hope you guys enjoy it. By the way, be sure to check out my Discord. The link is down in the description below. And I stream right here on this YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at usually starting at 2 p.m. EST. And yeah, but be sure to subscribe and like the video. I am staying up right now to make this video for you guys, and I hope you guys find it enjoyable. So, peace. Enjoy the video.
Holler.
Okay. Yeah, we're at HLR, bro.
Oh, we speaking fancy talk now.
No, it's what it says on the side right here. Look, HLR.
Found something.
Wait. Oh, I thought I heard someone knifing it.
Going up.
Oh. Baka aggro? I'm also going to go up. They're mad at me. Come on, bro. I'm looking for a fight for these bots. I thought he was gonna push me, but I guess not.
Or?
Someone's calling in a supply drop too.
Yeah, let's go for that then.
Okay.
Where's that at?
Don't know.
I'm looking for this, if they got a key card up here. They do not. Okay. Well, that's out here.
It is out here, right? Is it on our side? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Players! Players! Fuck, fuck, fuck.
Getting shot at by a bot behind. Popping
Yeah,
shield.
I see it. Pushing.
I don't know where they went.
They're out here still.
Yeah. Okay, I mollied them.
They got claymores.
Yeah, I mollied one. Pushing around the left side, I cracked one, it sounded like.
One's going up. One's going up.
Downed one. One left.
One's above.
Yep. He's gonna have to use his ult to res. He went inside for sure. Self-resing?
I got him. I'm finishing.
Okay.
Assassin down.
Oh, they scared me a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Cause I was so low to going down. And I got this key on me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can't go down.
Okay.
Like, oh fuck.
That was good. That was good.
He had a green waster and a blue bully. That's it.
I bet they probably started pooping themselves once they saw that we had purples.
He didn't even have MIPS rounds.
He's just he's
it's all
role
yours
playing.
if you want. He didn't even have heals.
I'm looking for poop heals. There's like none. There's not even depleted shield charges. What are these guys doing, bro?
Putting pure faith in the fact that they have a whatchamacallit, triage. Oh, I think we got more players.
Okay, I'm looking.
I saw movement in the middle there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Runner here.
White shields, white shields. Down. Thief is hurt.
Both dead, both dead.
Okay, perfect. Well done, well done.
Didn't get the confirmed.
Shouldn't be able to res. Okay.
Ooh, I fucked him up.
Got a lockbox key. Perfect. I need that.
20 minutes remain.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh yeah, I forgot I have my key template on me too, bro. What's on that? Hold on, I'm gonna look at what's on this overrun real quick.
Yeah, I wish you could take it off like they said.
From
Like,
direct,
sure,
yeah.
You can drag and drop
It was
but
keyboard
it's not like
warrior. Keyboard warrior.
that do.
Eliminations grant stacks of bonus accuracy and range for a significant duration.
All you. that supply drop. Okay, that's 2 teams. Oh, another team, another team, another team, another team, another team.
Where?
Wait, this way, this way.
They sniping or?
I don't know, shoot me from far. They were like on the hill.
Maybe we should push up towards this hill.
Interesting.
Cracked. Vandal. She has green shield.
One close.
One close here. On roof.
I can't get up there.
Popping a Panacea kit.
I gotta heal.
Yep. I ripped him up there. I need to get into better cover here. They
Bubble
have.
shield down. Bubble shield down.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta.
All right, we are back, chat. So we got a few things to talk about, but I think I'll go ahead and start with the runner shells and whatnot when it comes to the game. So let me take this off. This makes it easier to think, but you guys can enjoy the music while I talk. I hope it's not too loud. So as of right now in Marathon, oh, let me do this. Makes it much easier for you guys to see me. As of right now in Marathon, there are 6 runner shells, and by far the worst one is the Recon shell. She's also terribly designed, I think. She looks like a xenomorph from Alien vs. Predator, but I digress, right? She is absolutely the worst shell. And one of the biggest problems with her is there's other characters that do the things that she does, but with more efficiency, better, and also give you a way to move, right? For example, when we look at Recon's kit, she has her ultimate, which does that little pulse thing. It sends out 7 pulses, and it tells you like where the enemies are and whatnot, with a 2-second cooldown in between each pulse. And it could be so much better, and it gives it a radius, right? I think it's like 45 meter radius essentially. And it's kind of lackluster, right? It just pings them. It doesn't tell you like if the enemy is a robot or a person. You can kind of tell, like, obviously as you play her more and get more experience with the game, you could definitely tell like who is a player and who is a bot just by the way that they move and whatnot. But her real, like, she doesn't have anything in solo that would, you know, really make you want to get out there and choose her over assassin or even thief, or even in trios for ranked or something. She's pretty lackluster as well, because she's more of a support character. It's very obvious how that she's a support character given her intended design. But when you, and her best ability is her ultimate. And if you're trying to go into a POI to clear it, it's kind of hard because it only gives you about 45 meters in a circle to see where, you know, where people are at and whatnot. And what's it called? Jesus. It gives you a 45 meter radius to see what's going on. And if you're entering a POI, that's not a large enough radius, I would say. Maybe if you're in the very center of the POI, but then you're kind of out in the open in most of the POIs if you're standing in the center, right? And even then, you get, it pulses from the center of where you're standing. So if you're not in the very center, you might not get entire information on a POI. And I think this is one of her biggest drawbacks, because her ultimate is so underwhelming. If her ultimate was better, it would make up for the rest of her kit. It would, but it's not. And speaking of the rest of her kit, she also has a drone, which is absolutely terrible, but when it works, it feels good. But again, it's pretty terrible most of the time. I mean, you throw it at the stairs and it like continues to go forward, and then runs up a wall and comes back and then does the loopy loop. It doesn't actually have any decent pathing, and it absolutely needs to be tweaked. I think if they gave it better pathing, like one of the normal AI bots have, like how they pick up on sound or something like that. I think that would be much better. And then I think also too, she should be able to combine some of the abilities. So one of her abilities is when you break someone's shield, it shows footsteps in the direction that they run. Now, I'm not going to have any gameplay of Recon just because I don't feel like playing Recon. I mean, she is literally the worst shell in the game. I don't feel like playing Recon. She has barely any strengths, and she has many drawbacks, right? And you could tell even by her base stats. Her base stats, she's got a higher ping stat and a higher heat capacity, I believe. So that way she can chase for a good time. But obviously that can change with implants and cores and whatnot. But again, I digress, right? So she has very horrible agility and no survivability and barely brings anything to the table. One of the most important things that you could have in an extraction shooter or a shooter in general is information, and yet she just fails to be up to par, right? And what I mean by that is I could play Thief, have X-ray visor, I could counter Assassin, I could counter anyone in smoke without a thermal, as long as I'm in close enough proximity, and I can also have a way to get out, and every 2 or 3.5 minutes I get a drone which I can use to scout ahead of a POI, get a much bigger scan, if you will, with a Thief drone than I could with a Recon. So how do we make her better? Well, I think what we do for the Recon shell is we have to almost entirely rework her. I think the drone is good. I think that she just needs to have her pathing updated, and that'd be great. I think the breaking the shields and seeing the footsteps is great, but I think it can be improved. I think one way that we can improve upon her kit is when she breaks someone's shields, have her do increased or her agility increases for a short duration, right? Let's just say, I don't know, 10 seconds. So that way you can chase after that person or get in there faster, right? Because she's most of the time going to be at the back of the team. Meanwhile, you might have like a destroyer or a triage or a thief or whatever, or an assassin, right? Give her some way to keep up with the rest of her team, right? Obviously, she might be running with a triage, which triage doesn't have, crazy mobility. But again, if we give her something that enables her a little bit more, right? Especially to get the finishers, because the finishers will ping the rest of the team, which is really good. I think she could be in a much stronger place. I think she could move up a tier, right? In terms of being in the meta and whatnot. And I think another way that they should rework her ultimate is instead of doing a radial pulse, right? Because most of the time when you're popping your ult, you kind of know that someone is like in a certain direction, right? You kind of know they're in front of you. So I think what they should do is get rid of the radial pulse and give maybe 45 or even 60 meter pulse range that angles outwards at 45 degrees. So that way you can, as you're going into a POI, you can hit an alt and you can scan maybe all the way or halfway through the POI, and that will give you a much better info gathering, right? And differentiate the pings between a player and a bot. I think they could easily do that. And I think that would make her in a much better place. And I think it would make her stronger in solos as well. Because right now, Assassin kind of rules solos, which we'll get into him in a little bit after this one, right? And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, I am talking about all of this live on my Twitch channel. The link is down in the description. I also stream right here on this very YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But anyways, continuing on, right? She would be a much scarier opponent if we did that, or if we even combined some of the some of the abilities, right? If we took when she pulses and she gets you, right? If she tags you then you will leave behind a trail of footsteps or something like this, right? I'm thinking of like Apex Legends, Bloodhound type of ordeal, right? How when he pops his ultimate, he could see, if I remember correctly, he can see like the footsteps and whatnot, and he gets like increased chase speed and things like that. And maybe even like if you don't have to tie the chase speed in with the passive of breaking the shield and then seeing the footsteps, maybe you can tie the chase speed into the ultimate, right? Maybe they could just take a page out of Apex Legends book and just basically give her Bloodhound's ultimate. I think that would be great. And again, upgrade that drone's pathing to be, you know, actually more effective, and I think it'd be very good. And maybe for a different passive or something, you let her see through smokes. Okay? I think that'd be much better. I think you take away Thief's ability to see through smokes, right? I think you should give her the ability to still see like what's in boxes and things like that, and maybe on the Thief drone see just in the Thief drone see what people have and whatnot still, but don't give her the ability to see through smokes and have highlights live literal walls through smokes. Okay, and what Thief's X-ray vision kind of reminds me of when someone throws down a smoke and I'm playing like against an assassin or a team that's trying to res or something, is Lion. OG Lion from Rainbow Six Siege when he first came out, and he broke the entire game. If you got hit by what up, Bo? If you got hit by a Lion ultimate, oh boy, you were basically dead to rights, bro. 100% you were probably dead to rights. Okay, it gave you literal walls. You didn't even need to cheat. If you were a cheater back then, you could just turn off the cheats and just play Lion. He was absolutely 100% meta, right? And Thief, again, you throw on the X-ray vision as soon as you see smoke. Or if you see an assassin, boom, assassin's invisibility done for. His smoke done for. Teams trying to res in a smoke done for. It does not matter. And again, this is why she is outclassed. This is why the Recon Shell is outclassed in every capacity. There's something that one of the other shells does significantly better than her in every situation, right? I've never been in a situation where I'm like, oh man, I would love to have a Recon. Never. Because that Thief drone just does it so much better. And especially for me, as someone that's played thousands of hours of Rainbow Six Siege, one of the core things with Siege was droning. And playing Thief kind of feels like right at home, because I could just drone. I can even drone for myself. I can drone for my teammates. I can check corners. I can check different things. I can listen for steps. There's so many different things that I can do with that Thief drone. On top of that, I can steal their stuff. While Recon, I get a little pulse, or I get a drone that just goes around in the circles if it doesn't sense anything. So she's very underwhelming. And I think with, again, the things that I've talked about, right? Maybe not everything, but making her better anti-stealth, or making her a better support information gatherer by looking at some other games. Again, like Bloodhound. Bloodhound is like a perfect example. I think giving her an increased agility, you know, for her to move faster, run quicker when you break a shield, or when you pop ultimate, you get that passive of seeing footsteps, you get that passive of chasing after someone, and whatnot. And maybe even like if you ping someone, right, instead of chasing after them faster, you can do increased damage to ping enemies for like while the ping is active, right? Which would pair really well with her kit because she has higher ping base stat. What are we talking about? We're talking about different shells right now in Marathon, Bo. And right now I'm talking about the Recon shell. She is arguably the worst shell in the game at the moment, and I'm talking about ways that I think Bungie could make her feel better, could definitely be a better support character in teams, and be a better pick in solos overall. I think that she has potential, but I think a little bit of re-envisioning will help a lot. Because I do think she has some good traits, right? For example, you know, the Echo Pulse, I think it can be really great against assassins. I do, but again, it's still outclassed by X-ray vision, which recharges what, every like 20 seconds by a thief. There's definitely strengths that she has, but they could definitely be much better. Let's see. I'm looking through my notes here. I think you know, maybe even some different cores that can make her better or something like that. Or maybe a core that turns her ultimate into that one where it pulses outwards forward in a 45-degree angle at an increased range instead of doing a radius. I think that would be really great. I do think that there are a lot of ways to make her feel much better to play, much better to use, and make her more in the meta, right? Because it's very rare when I see a recon, and when I do, they usually pop ult right away because it's their strongest ability, and even then, it creates a weakness on her because you know the pulse is coming directly from her. So if you can kind of pinpoint where she's at, where she's pulsing from, and you can kind of get a sense about how far she is, right? Like if I'm sitting on top of a building and she pulses, I don't know, outside or on the first floor, well, I can easily tell, oh, she's right below me, maybe a little bit off to the left, or she's heading towards these stairs or heading towards this ladder. It's kind of funny because the one shell that is meant to track you makes her also extremely trackable and easy to kind of hunt down and kill. Yeah, she'll have information on you, but you also kind of have information on her. And I think it's counterintuitive because you may not get a ping on the recon when she's using her ult, but it's basically essentially when you pop your ult, like, hey, I'm right here in the center of this big giant yellow orb that's pulsing every 2 seconds. And it's like, oh, okay. And then you can just you guys can like, if you're in a trio squad, I mostly speak about trios here because that's what I mostly play. You could kind of pinpoint her and easily outplay her, gun her down, or overwhelm her, right? As long as she's, you know, isolated enough. And even in solos, you can kind of tell like, oh, okay, she's kind of coming at me from this way due to how the pulse is happening, you know? And then you can kind of play around that or whatever. And, you know, Recon is supposed to be the info god, and yet she's like the info pleb, essentially, of the game. And it's kind of interesting because even like there's even ways to get information without her, right? Let's say I'm playing assassin, for example, and I throw down my ultimate and I get that big line of smoke, people might start spamming at that, and you can kind of tell if that is, as long as they don't have a suppressor. I'm pretty sure suppressed rounds don't show tracers. I could be very wrong about that. I need to test that, but I could be wrong. But even when people start spamming a smoke, you could kind of tell where the shots are coming from, right? And then you can call out and be like, oh, there's a team at this direction, right? And another one of her passives is when she gets pinged by an enemy player, her screen pulses red on the edges. But apparently, and then like a little icon in the bottom right will say like, you know, ping or spotted or something like that. But apparently, if you get spotted as any shell, I learned this yesterday from a video that I watched, not just she, but every shell gets told when they're pinged by an enemy player, which I thought was kind of odd because they should definitely be exclusive to Recon, you know? Or even if you, like, you know, maybe if we reworked her a little bit to be like gather intelligence and maybe have like a built-in signal jammer to fight against intel, against other recons, or thermals or something like that. I don't know. I think that'd be really cool, but that might make her too strong. But I definitely think reworking her ultimate to be better and stronger, and maybe less of a way for the enemy to pinpoint you, I think that'd be much better, right? I know the example that I gave where you pulse outward in a 45-degree angle, that would obviously still lead to her kind of being able to be pinpointed. But again, I'm not Bungie. I don't have $1 billion. I don't have Sony backing me. And I don't have, 20 people working on character designs and utility. I'm just one guy giving suggestions here and looking at things objectively, trying to see the weak points and the strengths of each shell. And it is very obvious that Recon is lacking and she needs work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys like about Recon or what your favorite shell is, and leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content. Peace. Okay, that video is done, I believe. What up, Bo? I could talk for a minute here about some other stuff. But I was saying before I went and got some more coffee, because I'm a cold boy right now, that I'm kind of pivoting to focusing more on marathon content, just because I really enjoy the game. And one thing that I really loved doing in Siege was being super analytical about being super analytical about my gameplay, about different games, looking at pro plays and seeing what they do. I love analyzing things. I don't know what it is, just my brain, I guess. I just love analyzing things, and I definitely want to carry that into marathon. And I'm definitely just gonna kind of focus more on marathon, I guess, for a little bit, just because it'll help me grow on YouTube, and I'm having a lot of fun with the game and whatnot. But how you been, bro? How's your Monday? Ooh. Wednesday, you mean? It is not Wednesday, sir. Oh, it is Wednesday. Holy crap. It is Wednesday. Holy crap. Dude, I thought it was Monday. I thought it was Monday. Oh, yeah, I did stream Monday night. Dude, those ranked games, man. Oh, my gosh. They had me so upset. I just wish that those guys listened to my calls more, man. You know, it's crazy. It feels really bad because I know Rombe. I know you've seen me. I played Apex at a very high level. I've played Siege at a very high level. I've played Gears of War at a very high level. The only two games that I've never really gotten to high ranks in, Marvel Rivals and Overwatch. I'm just not good at that 6v6 hero shooter type of genre. That's just not my jive, man. That's just not what I'm good at. I'm good at TAC FPS, and I guess a little in Apex, right? I'm good at those types of things. Bruh. And I guess Tarkov, but Tarkov doesn't have a ranking system. So, but it was it gets really tilting, Arena does. Oh, I'm not paying for Arena though, bro. I already bought the game once. I don't want to pay for an Arena. Oh, okay. But it gets tilting when I'm trying to IGL and people just don't listen, or they take really dumb fights. Dude, I bought the game when it first came out. So the base edition. I got the game 2018, 2017. I got it a long time ago, bro. A really long time ago, Yeah, Edge of Darkness and a pay to win ones. Not pay to win, but you know what I'm saying. But anyways, it gets really frustrating when someone that has played games at a very high level, especially Apex. The reason why I'm saying Apex is because Marathon is a lot like Apex in terms of how you have to play, the fights that you have to take, how you have to soft reset, reposition, pull back, move away from a fight and whatnot. And I learned all of that. I played over 1,000 hours of Apex. Okay. I played on multiple accounts. Again, it was kind of yeah, I know the butthole is much bigger, which is also kind of cheese. But I played over 1,000 hours of Apex across multiple accounts, probably close to 2,000, and I got to a pretty high rank. I got into Masters. I was Diamond before there was Masters, and consistently did that. And I got Diamond in my first season ever playing. And if I kept playing and, you know, getting better and whatnot, I probably easily could have hit Pred. Close to only 2,000. Yeah, dude, I got a lot. I played Apex a lot. Apex was like one of my most played games, actually. Like, now that I think about it, it was actually kind of insane because I don't enjoy that game as much, man. I'm really thinking about it. But back then, I really did. There was something about Apex that was really nice. And I think it was the movement and whatnot, mixed in with like how the game played and whatnot. I really enjoyed Apex. I did. Steam alone, not including the same account, has hundreds more on EA. And I was, holy crap. So you played way more than I have. But anyways, and you know, taking what I've learned from that game and applying it to Marathon, it gets frustrating when people don't listen to IGLing, you know? And there's definitely things that I could have done better when we played, for sure. But overall, if you just keep kind of backing and taking a more advantageous fight for yourself, or in soft resetting, and taking, you know, and doing poke damage and whatnot until you can get a pick or something like that, I definitely think we could have done much better. But again, like when we were playing in the pinwheel on Outpost, you know, he went into a room and just kind of held a doorway, and I rotated all the way around without using any abilities to kind of get away. And we could have easily both done that and then wiped that lobby. But I don't know, man. It gets really frustrating when people don't listen to calls and whatnot. So I'm just kind of like, it gets really frustrating, I guess, so to speak. Because I've also done it for another friend in Apex that I used to play with. Well, not really a friend anymore, but another person that I used to play with in Apex. You know, I would IGL, and, you know, we would get a few wins, and then they would stop listening to me as IGL, and then we would start losing, and then I'm just like, okay, bro, well, I'm going to get off because you don't want to listen to the calls, so it's time for me to go. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm the greatest player. I know I'm not the greatest player. I got a lot to learn. I know that. But I do know that I know what I'm doing. Okay? That much I could tell y'all. That much I know for a fact. You know, once I start to figure out a game, and understand the flow of things and whatnot, I can start to piece things together pretty well, and how they're supposed to work, where people might be at certain points, where spawns are, etc. You know what I mean? Romby, when was the last time you played Apex, bro? Chat, I am not hydrated. I need to hydrate. I got this big water bottle right here ready to go. Uh-oh. Let's see. I do have more, I do have like another video to make, if you will, where I need to talk about, you know, what's it called? I need to talk about the assassin shell here. I'm scrolling through my notes that I've taken. Okay. think I need to use the bathroom real quick, chat. Let me throw on a video for you guys, and I'll be right back. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I also do want to react to a video and break down like the plays that were made in said video as well. So yeah. Hold on, this one's almost done. Let me find like a little bit of a longer video. Videos. Do 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 do. Here we go. Okay. People talking to you? I feel like they don't. You have people talking in game in like proximity chat or anything, or no? It might be bugged, yeah. I got killed by a rat. Somebody was camping in a corner, bro. Assassin, full invis, sitting in the corner. I like the sound design, but yeah, the audio needs some work. Yeah, they're not very loud. And I also have a problem with telling the distance of shooting. It seems a lot farther away than it is. Solomon over here, bro. He's locked in. He's level 18. He better, or I'm suing him for false advertisement. I actually... You need unstable gunmetal? I need the unstable diode or whatever. And biomass. I feel like they should expand the starting backpack space, maybe. Feels quite small, no? Ooh, a claymore mine. I'll take that. If you get chased, I'm popping that down. All right, I'm back, chat. Anyways, let's talk about the assassin shell inside of Marathon. The assassin shell is easily one of the best and the worst shells at the same exact time. And the reason for that is because on one hand, it's great for solos, and on the other hand, in trios, it can be hit or miss. So at a base, you know, assassin is pretty great, you know, for solos. He's good at ratting, he's good at getting away, he can go completely invisible as long as you stand still. He does have noise, however, when he is solo, and if you know that noise, you can kind of pinpoint where he's at, even though he might be completely invisible. But you could definitely get the jump on people easily in solos. You could pop up out of nowhere with him in solos. There's a lot of things that you can do in solos with him, and I definitely think he shines more in the solo playlist and allows for more freedom of expression with his kit, if you will, in solos, just because of his invisibility, and with, like, you know, different cores and things like that, the invisibility can be even stronger, last longer, etc. Right? However, in trios, he can be pretty strong. The smokes can give great cover. It's literally free grenades. Getting a he can be great for getting reses off, covering teammates that are trying to self res, covering himself. Getting out of different situations, getting a team out of a situation. However, where he kind of falls flat in a trio is you're more likely to run into people that are using thermals, thermal snipers, thermal BRs, thermal bully, etc. And he falls flat when that happens. And the only way to counter a thermal right now is a signal jammer. And they're pretty strong, right? Signal jammers and as a whole, they also counter recon, ultimate, etc. But TADs and all that. But they're pretty strong. But I think giving the ability to assassin to be the hunter that he is, instead of being hunted in a team fight by thermals, would be very beneficial, right? He's definitely like this. He should be like the clutch king, right? Character in a sense, right? There's even a challenge for him that says, revive both of your teammates after being at critical health, right? You could definitely tell in their design philosophy behind them with this challenge, he was meant to be the clutch character, the character that is there to kind of manipulate the battlefield a little bit and make plays, or fight changing plays, and turn something around. And he's just easily countered by a free ability on Thief, which you're going to run into 99% of the time. With one tap of a little button, you are completely exposed in smokes. Not just you, but your entire team. You are completely exposed in smokes. If she looks at you long enough, you get hacked. You can't use your abilities. And then even if you're completely invisible, she can see you. Again, I don't think that, she should have this ability. I think that ability should maybe move over to the recon class to give recon, more of a reason for being played. But I digress. We're not talking about recon. We're talking about assassin and why he is simultaneously the best and the worst shell at the same time. One of the best, not the best. But again, he is easily counterable by thermals and an entire other shell. 2 other shells, essentially, but there's obviously one that does it much better than the other does. I don't know if when you use your active camo, if the thief drone can see you. I actually don't know that, because I know it kind of gives you x-ray vision, like with her visor does, but it doesn't allow you to hack people through the drone, while the x-ray vision can. I could be very wrong about that. I actually haven't tested that, or maybe I've seen it, but I haven't been able to confirm it. But yeah. So again, I think he's great. He has great mobility, right? Great mobility, great maneuverability, great repositioning, potential and whatnot. And he definitely rewards patience and playing smart. He definitely rewards that kind of play style versus compared to like a destroyer, who is more of like a run and gun type of character, who can, get in people's faces and then back out with the shield up, etc. Right? He's definitely more of a, hey, my team is fighting head on right here. Let me come around to the left and get a different angle. Right? That's the type of character he is. Right? He's the fight altering character. He's the off angle character. He's the clutch meister, if you will. All right. He should be. And let me see here. I'm looking through my notes. And then you if you pair him, with like a suppressed weapon, a melee build or a shotgun, he could be very, very strong, especially if you come in late to a fight, or if you already have someone down and they're finished and like they're getting looted and maybe you can sneak up on them or something like that. Oh geez. I definitely think there are very many situations that an assassin can be good for. And I think he's actually in a pretty decent spot in terms of his balance, you know? I think if he had more vertical movement, not just from dropping down and dropping a smoke and then going invisible, but I think if he was able to go upwards in vertical movement, I think he would be way too strong. So I think where he's at in terms of his kit is great right now, but I do think he should have an extra passive of countering thermals, at least in maybe his ultimate, or you know, when he goes completely invisible, he gets a signal jammer on top of it, right? I think he should counter that in some kind of way to where it makes him a bit more viable in team fights, and or even completely counters, you know, thief x-ray vision. That would help a lot. Just being able to see people straight through a smoke, regardless of what character it is, assassin or not, as a thief, is just absolutely bonkers. And I'll make a whole different video about thief if you guys would like to see that breakdown and what I think should be changed about her. I kind of already talked about it in my recon video, and I'm kind of already talking about it in this one, but I think there's ways to rework her just a tad bit where she's less what's it called, intrusive, or that's not the right word I'm looking for right now, but I can't think of the word. But if you guys are interested in that video, then be sure to subscribe and be on the lookout for that video. But going back to assassin here, you know, he definitely has some great builds where you can like stack smoke, you could stack, you know, ability cores around your abilities. If you can get like an implant that lets you go invis while you self-res or something like that, even without smoke, that could be very strong. There's also another core where while you're invis, you ready your weapons faster. You know, there's a bunch of things that definitely make him stronger. But again, he's easily counterable, and he is going to be countered about 99% of the time, because you will be running into a thief in trios at least about 99% of the time. That's just the truth. So a couple ideas that I've came up with when it comes to, you know, buffing him or reworking him a bit is maybe instead of a hard counter to the thermals, maybe we give him like a, you know, make it like a soft distortion, so it's hard to see exactly where he's at in the smoke, or, you know, like a glimmer or something like that. I also think thermals should make you pop more when your heat capacity is higher than, and if you are at completely zero heat capacity, you're very faint on a thermal. I think that's how the thermal should work, but I digress. Again, that's just something completely different that we have to get into a different time. Or even give him a core that reduces his entire thermal signature. It can be overall or while he's in smoke, or it can be like very specific, right? Like you give him a core that when you use your ultimate, you become immune to thief x-ray vision and thermals, right? Something like that. If they want to keep thief's x-ray vision, there needs to be a counter to it. And, you know, if they want him to be the clutch character, he needs to have a way to counter these things that can see him at all times, right? And I'm okay with them doing that for a longer cooldown on his ultimate. I am completely fine with that. Maybe even make his the ability where the smoke dive ability, where you know, or hold on, let me restart this real quick. Like when he goes invisible, you know, it makes a counter to thermals and the x-ray vision, and if you've already used your invis, your automatic active camo, and your ultimate, maybe make it so when you use your smoke dive and you come out invis, the longer you dive, so from the greater height you are and the longer it takes for you to hit the ground, the longer your dive, the more invisibility time you have when you come out of the smoke or when the smoke dissipates. I think that could be also be a nice little rework that allows him to kind of get out of a situation, maybe against a sniper. If you're, for example, like when we were playing ranked, we all played, not all of us, but a lot of us played ranked this past weekend on perimeter. And, there's been a lot of sitting on rooftops and whatnot. And I think if you can pair the height drop with the smoke and how long it makes your invisibility last, maybe there's a core for that. I don't think there is. I haven't played a lot of Assassin. Definitely let his shroud last a little bit longer and counter the thermal, or make it so he's not as easily seen in thermals or by the X-ray visor. Something definitely needs to change when it comes to his interaction with the thermals and the X-ray visor. That is absolutely his biggest weak point in all of the modes. Again, though, he is great for solos, and I think he might be too oppressive for solos. By the way, that's the word I was looking for earlier when I was talking about Thief. She could be too oppressive at times. I do believe he could be a little bit too oppressive in solos, and that's why when I play solos, I run Thief, because as soon as I know majority of people are running Assassin, he is arguably the best solo character right now, and as soon as I see or hear, the little Assassin invisibility ability, invisibility, shroud ability, I'll just say that so that makes it easier to say, I'm popping my X-ray visor and I'm looking around. Or if I see the ultimate go off, I'm popping my X-ray visor and I'm looking in the smoke. It's just such a hard counter, especially in solos, where I can get such a significant advantage that it kind of renders him mute in solos, right? It kind of renders him to be whatever in solos. Recon can kind of do the same, but again, Thief just does it better, right? And especially if I have the invisibility core for Thief, where as soon as I go on my pickpocket drone and I can go invisible, well, now I can drone ahead for myself. I can check everywhere. I can listen for footsteps. I can listen for the assassin invisibility. And if I know that there's an assassin or someone is running around or something like that, when I get closer, I'm popping my X-ray vision, right? Or if I know, because I saw it on my drone, it's an assassin, I'm popping my X-ray vision, because I know what's the first thing that they're going to do. They're going to either pop smoke or go invis. And I'm not going to, and then guess who has the advantage? It would be the assassin. Well, not anymore. I pop my X-ray vision, boom. So his biggest strengths also turn into some of his biggest weaknesses. Kind of like Recon, her biggest strength is the pulse, but it also is her biggest weakness because it pulses from the center of her outward in a 45 meter radius, and that kind of tells you, oh, Recon is behind me and to my left, right? Because if the pulse comes out and it comes at you from, like this, from, let's say you're facing north, from your southwest, then she's behind you and to the left, right? Then you could take into account, okay, what kind of building am I in? How can she get up here, right? How close is she? And then you can kind of track her for the next 14 seconds while she tracks you for the next 14 seconds. So, again, there's just way too many ways for Assassin to kind of be countered, especially with how easy it is to find thermals. You within 3 runs of an outpost run, as long as you're checking all the arms lockers inside of outposts, which you can easily do as a Thief, you'll probably find a thermal because they come in blue and purple. So you'll probably find a thermal scope easily. And then guess what? Now you have that for ranked, where you will probably run into an assassin, because assassin's a pretty popular pick, and now you just have an easy counter to him. It's really that simple. So I definitely think there needs to be some reworking on his kit in terms of to make him a more viable option, to make him more of this ideal clutch minister that they have for him. And again, very simple tweaks that can be made, very simple changes that can be made without disrupting the balance to the game and the balance of the shells right now, I definitely think there are some small changes that would go a long way and definitely keep teams more on their heels and make him a much better pick when it comes to team fights and for solos. I will say though, if these changes, if something does happen where he's able to, counter a thief, X-ray and stuff like that, they might have to bar him from solos because he will be way too strong. Or what needs to happen is recon needs to get a buff, so that way you have to choose between being seen all the time or seeing the unseeable. So yeah, but anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know what your thoughts are on the my potential change ideas for him, what you think about Assassin, what you think about his weaknesses and his strengths. Leave that all down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like the video. I did record all of this live on my stream, where I stream right here on this YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'd love to see you guys there. Thank you for watching. God bless and peace. Okay, well, that one's done. What up, Canadian? Thank you for the lurk. I hope you're having a good Wednesday, bro. I'm over here saying Monday to people, and it is a 100% a Wednesday. And yeah, so I'm having a little bit of coffee right now. I was lagging behind this morning, boys. I was falling asleep, sitting up. I was like, oh man. And I got some good rest too. I did. I got some good rest. I was tired. I don't know what's going on. I got a good amount of hours of sleep. I don't know what's going on. Today I was just feeling extra tired, I guess. But yeah. I do also want to do my oh my goodness, my review on Marathon after like 150 hours. I've played like 150 hours of Marathon now, and I'm absolutely loving the game. I really am. I think the game is great. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's one of the best shooters that have come out in a long time. I think it is one of the most unique. I just don't think people are giving it a chance. And I get it. I know it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone. But that's perfectly fine. But I do think more people should give it a chance. And, they should definitely, what's the word? Not listen or be influenced by other people and give it a shot for themselves. 1 second, chat. Gotta check my phone. Okay. 1 second. Okay. I had to text my wife. She texted me, so I gotta respond because she was texting me about something important. So, yeah. But here, let's go ahead. I want to show you guys what I'm rocking with here. That's not where I'm at. I need to get out of here. I can't really see what I'm doing. The OBS screen is too small. Yeah, so check this out. Look, I'm at 146 hours, right? Okay. So I've played over 150 hours worth of Marathon, right? So I know it says 146 right here, but I've played 14 hours minimum in the server slam before the game launched. And I gotta tell y'all, I've been having nothing but a absolute blast with Marathon. I was extremely skeptical about the game, and it is arguably, for me, one of the best shooters that has come out in the past 6 years. Okay, for that I actually genuinely enjoy and look forward to playing every day. Okay, and I'm going to be breaking down everything, my overall verdict, what I really like about the game. Okay, my overall verdict, what I really like about the game, what I think needs to be fixed, tweaked, and changed, and I'm also going to be considering the solos versus trios experience, the casual experience, who it's for, and then we'll go over my final thoughts. So from the top, overall, again, I look forward every day to playing this game. Even after 150 hours, I think there's a lot of content. Bungie has been cooking up some great stuff here. They've been extremely good on the feedback. They've been extremely good at responding to things, extremely good with updating things. And I wasn't a big person in the Destiny 2 scene. I played Destiny. I don't even know if I played Destiny 2. I want to say that I did in the very beginning, but again, that game is like, what, 12 years old or something. So I genuinely can't even remember if I played Destiny 2. But I do know a lot of the gripes that people had was, they didn't really talk about things in Destiny. They weren't super vocal with what they were doing with Destiny and things like that. And here we are with Marathon, and they are being super vocal. They're responding to feedback. They're talking to us on Twitter. They're getting our input. We got what's his name, Ziegler, telling us, hey, we're gonna be talking about this in this upcoming week. We're gonna maybe make changes, blah 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 blah. And they already have made changes, right? One of the biggest things that they got from feedback from this past weekend was that ranked and cryo should not be at the same time, because there's much better loot to be had in cryo. So why would you even play ranked, right? And I'll make a whole different video on ranked. If you guys are interested in that, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on this very YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel. The link is down in the description. So I'd love to see you guys there. And I'm actually doing this live right now on my stream. So this is all fresh off the top of my head. I'm just kind of looking at key points and notes that I've taken for myself here and going off of that. So everything that you are listening to right now is literally straight off the top of my head, because I want to have a conversation with you. So with that said, again, they are responding to feedback very well, and they've already made changes, right? They've already, Ziegler, I don't know his first name, okay? I don't. But he's already come out and said, hey, we heard the feedback. Cryo will last from Thursday to Sunday at whatever time, and then ranked will start literally right after at that exact same time on Sunday and go until, I think, Wednesday or something like that. So that's big, right? Because there's also people that work on the weekends, and they were kind of upset that they wouldn't really be able to enjoy ranked or even cryo. So now you're kind of pleasing both crowds here, which is perfect. This is great. This is great feedback. This is a great way to not split the player base and keep the kind of the player base contained in these weekend events, if you will, right? Or limited time events, if you will, right? And I think they're doing really great about that. Now, what I really enjoy about the game, right off the top of my head, gunplay and movement. Okay, the movement is simplistic yet very, what's it called? Adds a layer of depth to the game, right? And a meaningful layer of depth. Instead of just sprinting from cover, right? You could slide, right? And then you pair that with some of the implants where you might get an extra ability that says, if you slide in water, you generate no heat. Or, for example, on Vandal, if you slide, you gain the effects of a signal jammer for a short time, right? Those are very big things that add to the movement and make you want to use movement, right? But it's not overbearing or so bad to the point where like the casual person cannot get into it. For example, in Apex, right? The movement is great in Apex, but the average person will not be able to compete against someone that has put thousands of hours and hundreds of hours into practicing movement and tying it into their gameplay, right? Movement in Marathon is pretty simple and but adds enough depth for a new player to get into it, right? There's some exploits right now, especially with Thief. All the shells where you can like slide cancel with an ammo crate. Obviously, those are exploits, and those gotta go for sure. Because that is definitely not meant to be in the game, and it's very obvious that's not meant to be in the game. So I definitely hope that they're working on that and going to get that fixed very soon. But again, going back to the gunplay and the movement, the gunplay is very smooth. It's very good. It feels great. There's definitely some guns that feel much better to use than others. For example, I really like the Impact HAR, but boy, does that gun have some kick. I've played a lot of games in my life, all right? I've played and most of them shooters, okay? And I've been high ranks in all of them, all right? Diamond / Masters, Apex, CS, Face It, Level 10, EU when I lived there, Immortal in Valorant, Diamond / Champion, Rainbow Six, okay? I know how to control recoil, but boy, does that Impact HAR get away from me. It really does, okay? It gets away from me sometimes, especially at range. That thing hits like a truck, but so does the recoil. And pulling down, you're going to need a whole mouse pad for that. But anyways, overall, though, the gunplay feels fantastic. It does. Bungie knocks it out of the park with that. I personally have some, again, gripes with the Impact, and I also personally, this is just a me thing, maybe it's a skill issue thing, I've never personally enjoyed the Bungie snipers. I always hated it in Halo, did not enjoy it in Destiny 1, and I don't really enjoy it in this game. And with Dire Marsh ranked coming, so for those of you that are watching this maybe on the weekend or something, I'm recording this before Dire Marsh ranked is out. So the second weekend that it ranked is being able to be played. And I'm not looking forward to it because I do not want to have sniper battles. I felt like the snipers always felt too floaty, if you will. It's almost as if there's like mouse smoothing on the snipers for some reason in Bungie games. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the engine. I don't know what it is. It just feels very different to me than in any other game. I don't know. I think the stamina, the heat bar, right? I think that's a good addition into the extraction shooter space. I think it's much different than obviously just having a normal stamina bar. I like how they've even designed the maps kind of around this, right? You'll have rain, you'll have not even just the maps, even some grenades and stuff, and some abilities. I like the heat management system as well. I do think it is a very good system, and I think it can be very punishing if you don't know what you're doing or know how to manage your heat in a fight. Playing in water, running through water, sliding through water, doing anything in water will make your heat build up slower, and I think that's a really good addition. I think that's a really great idea, especially with the map designs and things like that, and how the interactions work. With rain, the heavier the rain, the more or the less heat you generate, and the faster you cool off as well. I think those are very good design principles. I think it adds another layer of depth that is simplistic yet deep, and it's very hard to create multiple systems that are simplistic yet deep in a video game. At least in a shooter like this, I guess. When it comes to the runner shells, there's definitely some that are much better than the others. That's very obvious. But I think the runner shell idea and the way that you can build your weapons, build your character, and things like that, I think it creates a lot of depth in terms of how you can play, right? For example, on triage, one of the coolest things that you can do, which is also kind of limiting, is you could take a Volt weapon, use his battery overcharge, use a weapon implant. I forget what it's called right now. A weapon implant that I think it's called circuit tracers, where so you pop your battery overcharge, you shoot somebody with a Volt weapon, and then when you crack their shields, they get EMP'd. And then with circuit tracers, and there's also another one. One of them allows you to, replenish your health and your shields when you deal damage to someone that is, affected by EMP, which you would have affected them with an EMP when you pop your battery overcharge and use a Volt weapon. And The other one allows you to get volt energy back into your weapon and charge your battery overcharge again, so you could have it literally every fight. I think there's a very cool depth of mechanics there, and build crafting there that no other extraction shooter really has. And I'm trying to think of another game, not just extraction, but competitive game that kind of has like this build crafting depth that Marathon has, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. And then especially when you consider how trios work and team comps and things like that, there's definitely, you know, better trios, better team comps than that go together than, you know, just having like, you know, three fragging shells or whatever, right? Another thing they knocked it out of the park with, the maps and the atmosphere. The maps, I think, are actually very well designed. There's definitely some points of interest that need to be reworked, or where they offer way too much power or whatever. I definitely think there is something to be said about certain POIs, but overall, the map designs of them are very well done, and the atmosphere of them are incredible. Especially Cryo Archive. Cryo Archive is really cool. It's one of the coolest maps I think I've ever played. I didn't really play it a lot, but I definitely want to jump into it more this weekend and give it more of a go, right? The tension and the gameplay loop that they've got here, the tension is great. Not knowing if you have one more team left after fighting, you know, 3 or 4 or whatever. I mean, you could definitely tell depending on the map that you're on, right? For example, on Outpost, you know there's 3 other teams that spawn, so you could easily wipe the lobby pretty quick. Dire Marsh, I believe there's 5 other teams, and then on Perimeter there's on Dire Marsh there's 4 other teams, and then on Perimeter there should be 5 other teams, right? So you could definitely tell after, you know, getting into a fight, like, oh, okay, now there's 4 teams left, no, you know, or whatever, 4 other teams left, blah blah blah. And just having that tension and knowing like there might be one other team on the map when you're trying to extract after hitting like a locked room or something, it definitely gets the drive going. It definitely adds to the gameplay loop and makes me want to come back for more. And I do like how losing your stuff in this game is very easy to gain back. It's honestly really simple. If you, let's say you die and you have like a full purple loadout, you can get it back pretty quick. You really can. You don't have a lot of stash space. Oh. You don't have a lot of stash space in the game, but you can get, you know, every time you level up a faction, you get rewards. And, you know, those rewards are kind of specific. You might be able to get a shield or whatever. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I had to go put my dog downstairs. Where was I? Oh, the maps and the atmosphere, about losing stuff. So when you lose your stuff, you can honestly get it back really easy. You just got to stack attachments, right? And easy way to do that, you go into a raid. If you find a weapon, look at the attachments on it, and then pull what you want off of it, and then just put that in your bag. Drop the weapon, and then come back to your stash, put the attachments in there, so that way when you die, you can go claim a reward from one of the factions. They'll give you a gun depending on the faction, or they'll give you purple shields or whatever. Man. then you can when with that said weapon, you can take the attachments that you just got or have been stacking up on and create a whole new purple weapon, a whole new blue weapon just to replace it. It's really simple to replace what you lost and make up for everything that you have lost. And it's honestly really easy to make money as well in the game. You can go from 0 to 100K in like less than an hour if you play well and play right. The sound design of the game is really well done. It's like one of the best for sure. There are instances where I feel like I do lack audio cues, you know, like when someone's climbing on me. Okay, that sounds really wrong. Pause. When someone is climbing up to my level, right, I can't really hear them climb. It's a very mute sound cue, but I can hear people creeping around. I can hear people walking. And they also have very distinct sound cues for when people are making footsteps versus robots making footsteps. And the guns sound good. You can tell when you're getting thief droned. You can tell when someone is healing. You can tell when triage throws out a drone. You can tell when there's a destroyer. There's so many good sound cues and whatnot that it's very easy to get information from sound cues. You can tell when someone dies. You can tell when someone's finishing, etc. There's so many sound cues that give you tons of information with very good feedback. That it is definitely some of the best sound design I've heard in a long time. Now, as for the things that definitely need some work, I think there is a very steep learning curve with the game because of how simplistic yet deep it is. And that's going to turn a lot of people away, right? The game is definitely made for a more hardcore shooter enjoyer, right? Not as hardcore as like Tarkov or something like that, but I would say more in the leagues of like Siege, just not as in depth as Siege is, because one of the hardest things about Siege is learning that game. It just is, right? And back when I played, it was even harder because you had to learn about bullet holes. People would shoot one time through a wall and look down a whole hallway, and they could see you because you're so far away, and the bullet hole is like this big, and you couldn't see them. So, yeah, the only way that you could do that, you could figure out that they were there, is if you droned, right? If you use your drone and see that the bullet hole is there, then you could pre-fire it. Ubisoft fixed that and whatnot to make it a little bit more casual and make it easier for people to get into. But again, I think Siege suffers from this thing of not being casual enough, and you could definitely tell like the game has definitely declined over the years and whatnot. And I definitely could see that being a problem for Marathon, where it is not casual enough. And maybe they could make it so there's like maybe like a non-ranked playlist is more casual. I don't know how you could really do that though. Maybe, you know, have different balancing for the playlists or whatever. But again, I think that would, you know, split a lot of people, split the player base, etc. So I don't know how they can balance making the game more accessible and more casual to people, to bring in more people, while still retaining that depth and that hardcoreness that the people that are currently playing every day like and enjoy, right? There's definitely some balance issues as well. I would say they did kind of tweak the waster. It's very hard to balance a shotgun, okay? It just is. They're either super terrible or super overpowered. And as of right now, the shotguns are super strong. The waster is especially strong, I'd say. But I do think it's in a much better spot than it was before it was nerfed, okay? They kind of nerfed the effective range of it. And I definitely think that it's in a better spot than what it was. And there's definitely better what's it called? Better shells than others, right? Recon being the lowest, you know, she's supposed to be this information gathering god, and she is just terrible at it. She's a pleb at it. There are better shells that do it than her, and that's kind of sad, right? Assassin is crazy good in solos, can be kind of mid in trios. I would say triage is high A tier, not S tier, because you have to, like, in order to take full advantage of his kit, you need a Volt weapon, and the Volt weapons aren't all that great. And he's also very, reliant on his cores, and his cores are kind of mid. Besides like the purple ones, basically, which can be kind of hard to come by. Like, you know, one of the cores is basically like, hey, use your ultimate to hit an enemy, so that way your ultimate comes back faster next time. And it's like, well, what's the point in that? You know, it's kind of mid. But his healing drones, very solid, very good to have. And they could definitely be a game changer for a team. Destroyer, I think he's S tier. You know, he's very strong. In trios at least. In solos, you could definitely easily outplay and overpower a destroyer, especially one that doesn't really know what they're doing, or if you sneak up on him as like an assassin or something like that, it's very easy to outplay a destroyer, I'd say. Again, there's definitely some other balance issues. Like, I think the long shot needs to have slower fire rate and whatnot. I would say if I had to pick an Outland and long shot, I'm picking the long shot 9 times out of 10 over the Outland. The Outland is cool and all, it just doesn't have the fire rate that the long shot does. I can hit a follow-up shot like this with the Outland or with the long shot, while with the Outland I have to kind of like wait a second, and by then they might be able to get behind cover or get away and whatnot. I do still think that thermals are very strong, and they should play off of your heat bar more. I 100% believe that there should be that more of an interaction, because there's an interaction between, you know, grenades in your heat bar, water in your heat bar, and things like that. So I think the lower your heat bar, the lower thermal signature you would have, you know, inside of a thermal scope. I think that would be a very good way to balance the thermals out even more. But that can all happen in time, and obviously with more feedback that Bungie gets, maybe they will add that. Maybe they say with the data that they get that it's all good, but sometimes the data isn't what is great for the game, you know what I mean? But yeah, as for the PvE and the AI, they've actually kind of tanked it a little bit. Not tanked it, but like, you know, made it so it's what's the word? Not as strong. And I think that's a step in the right direction for a more casual player base. Because even still, like I still have gone down to PvE, right? There's been times where I've gotten overwhelmed or put down very low to PvE, and they can absolutely screw you over. They absolutely can. But I think them turning it down was probably a step in the right direction in terms of making it a little bit more player accessible, because there are people that were saying that the PvE was a little strong. I personally enjoy strong PvE, but I still think that the PvE is in a very good space, in a very good spot, and I think the AI works pretty well. I think their pathing is pretty great. There are some very interesting things that happen with them sometimes. Like, they'll just like aggro on you, walk away, and then just completely disappear. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with the Bungo servers that they got that is causing that. But I think I have a clip somewhere. If I can find it, I'll throw it up for you guys. But yeah, they definitely just like disappear sometimes. In terms of progression and how it's going to feel for someone that is working, you know, like a normal job that comes home and maybe only has like a couple hours to play, I think progression is actually pretty solid, because of how you can rank up your factions, get rewards. They'll straight up give you like blue shields, purple shields, salvage that you need to upgrade their stuff. I think progression is actually in a pretty good sweet spot, like just like in the perfect spot for someone that doesn't have a lot of time all week to grind it out over the 3 month period that the season lasts. I definitely think that there is what's it called? That there's a good progression. As you get towards the end game, though, it can definitely get very hard. I've only come across like one alien alloy and one synapse cube, and I still can't even get like end game, what's it called? End game upgrades, and I can't even find like a prestige key or anything like that to get into a prestige room and even have a chance of extracting with that stuff. I will say, I do think maybe the prestige key should be a little bit easier to find. And I'm not just talking cryo archive keys. I'm talking like, hauler, upstairs room key, south relay key, greenhouse, not labs key, but the other one, etc. I definitely think there should be a little bit higher of a drop for those prestige keys, or a much better way to farm for them, or make like warden spawn more so that way you can farm them a little bit more, etc. I definitely think there is something to be said with the progression in terms of the end game, but getting to the end game is honestly pretty easy and pretty quick, and it's definitely doable with a 9 to 5 and kids and work, and maybe playing for 2 to 3 hours a night. I 100% believe that, and I think the economy is pretty good as well, the loot economy. And if you are, someone that is interested in ranked, someone that is interested in cryo archive and like the harder stuff, you will be coming across people that have, better gear, and if you can kill them, then it's yours, as long as you make it out of the raid or whatever, right? There is definitely good progression in the game, and it's definitely feels very rewarding. And there is also, I would say, meaningful progression, meaning there are things to grind for. There are skins for you to earn in the game without having to spend another dime on it. All you have to do is pay the $40 entry fee, and you can unlock a ton of skins, right? There's cryo archive specific skins. There's specific skins for extracting with certain sponsored kits. There's certain skins for doing challenges with the different shells, etc. There's different weapon skins. There's 100% things that you can unlock, customizability options and stuff for you to unlock. That is very rewarding, I would say, and challenges you a little bit as well. And it makes you want to think outside the box or something. I will say not all of them are working at 100%. I have done the thief challenge where you pull a self revive off of a downed player. It did not track it for me, and that is the only challenge that I need before I can get thief mastery, so that feels kind of bad. But hopefully they can get that fixed, so that way the next time that I'm able to pull a self revive off of a down player, it does count for me. In terms of player count and the longevity of the game, I do hope that the game lasts, but I will be honest, the player count is looking a little rough, and it goes to like 50k over a 24-hour period, a little over 50k, maybe 55,000 over a 24-hour period, and it definitely does feel a little rough, with only being less than a month since release at this time. And I hope Sony doesn't tell Bungie like, hey, it's time to pack it up and start working on D3 or something, because I do hope that this game survives and is able to foster the player base that they have and garner new people to come in and get interested in the game, because there is a lot of lore. There is a very deep learning curve. There is a lot of things to look at and learn and have fun with, different interactions and whatnot. I think if they had like party modes, maybe like in Apex, maybe on weekends or during the week or something, just to give people a little bit different of an experience outside of the extraction shooter base, it might gather more people in, because again, the gunplay is super fun, and it'd be super cool if there was like a way to go and kind of test like some of the gear that you have and maybe in like an arena mode or something like that. I think that would be really fun. No, the game is not still in early access. It is fully released, but I always consider like, you know, the first like 3-ish months. I'm saying 3-ish months for this game specifically because this is the first season. I would consider this like the beta season, right? They're gathering feedback right now. They're making tweaks to the game and whatnot. And I would say that the game is in beta right now, right? It's in beta, if so to speak. Give me a second. I need to sip some coffee. But those are my main problems with the game, I would say. Definitely some balancing things that need to be changed. Maybe make the game a slightly more casual. The PvE can be a little strong for some people's taste. And again, the player count and the potential longevity are definitely things to consider when it comes to this game. But as for the solo versus trios experience, the game is 100% made for trios. It is quite obviously made for trios. And I would honestly say that this game plays more like a battle royale than an extraction shooter. It has extraction mechanics for sure, and it is 100% an extraction shooter, but it feels, in terms of the way that you have to play, the way that you have to rotate, the way that you have to take fights, the way that you have to back away, soft reset, hard reset, etc. The way that the game is played is very akin to something like Apex Legends. And this is coming from someone that has reached very high rank in Apex Legends and has played that game rather competitively at just about 2,000 hours with that game. And it definitely feels like the most battle royale extraction shooter out on the market. And if you are someone that enjoys battle royales or enjoys Apex Legends and enjoys extraction shooters, this is probably going to be right up your alley. If you don't like the art style and that's what's holding you back, just give it a chance. I'd say, you know, go play it for 2 hours. You get a free $40 2-hour free trial on Steam. Give it a chance. All right. The art style to me, I fell into that thing. I said it looked very Robloxy. It looked very like poppy, very out there. But I think it is actually very well designed. I think the design is very awesome. And it honestly really helps me see characters more, right? I play on an OLED monitor. So, you know, seeing enemies, they actually pop out, right? Because there's colorful background. There's actually color to the game. There's life to the game. Whereas like in something like Arena Breakout Infinite, it's got like this gritty tone, right? And it could be kind of hard to see people at times. Oh, excuse me. So I actually really like the sci-fi aspect and that it's not hyper realistic, right? I really enjoy this design. But going back to the solos versus trios experience, the game is 100% based on trios, and you can definitely tell. But that doesn't mean that solos is not fun. So the solo experience is a very different game. You have to play it slower. You have to be more cautious. You have to be listening. It definitely makes you need to lock in more. Okay, makes you need to be more aware of your surroundings, more aware of what the game has to offer, what the sound cues are, more aware of the map rotations, the potential rotations, the potential ways that people can go. This is 100% a very skill expressive playlist, and I do like playing solos, but again, there is something about playing this game in trios that makes it feel like Apex Legends to me, and Apex Legends is really fun, but it's basically Apex Legends mixed with an extraction shooter minus the crazy script movement BS that you have in Apex, okay? And I really enjoy that. So comms, so having good comms, you know, a good team comp, people that know how to PvP, that know how to play Apex Legends, that type of beat can be very beneficial in this game. And it feels really good to go from a white shield free kit to blue shield / purple shield, purple weapon, up out of nothing. All right. It feels really good in this game because it does not matter your shield, right? It does not matter. It really doesn't. If you have good positioning, good repositioning skills, and good soft resets and good ways to take a fight, you can absolutely beat a purple shield while you have a white shield. Okay, there's definitely going to be kits, free kits that are able to do it easier. I would definitely say the Mida free kit that comes with the Bully SMG is significantly easier to pull this off with than something, say, like the Traxxas free kit that gives you the hardline PR, which is absolutely terrible unless you can get some attachments on it. Okay, because the gun is good, just at its base though, it is horrible. I absolutely hate the Traxxas free kit, and every time I have it, I just hate running it, but sometimes I have to, you know. I'm getting a dry spot because I'm talking so much. Excuse me. As for my final thoughts, though, I do think that this game is it's probably a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. I was in the very skeptical field of this game. I was like, oh man, is Bungie gonna be able to pull this off? Is this game gonna be a hit? Is it gonna be the Concord 3 that everyone is saying? And honestly, bro, if you just kind of cut the noise out that you're getting from your favorite Twitch streamer or YouTuber, or, just from the majority of people online, and give the game a fair shot and give it, open your mind to having a new experience in this, cyberpunkish sci-fi world, I think you're going to have a very good experience. I think that you'll enjoy the game despite its flaws, as long as you're into extraction shooters. If you're not into extraction shooters, this game probably won't be for you. If you wish maybe Apex Legends was a little bit more hardcore or harder in some capacity, this could probably be right up your alley. It really could be. But I will say this, I really enjoy the game. As someone that has not really enjoyed a shooter in a very long time, since I played Rainbow Six Siege and got burnt out on that game and myself, and the last time I really enjoyed that game was all the way back in 2019. Since then, I've kind of bounced from FPS to FPS, and I gotta tell you, I am really enjoying this game. It's kind of grabbed me by the balls in a way I did not expect. I did not expect Bungie to have my balls in their hand. All right, I really didn't. The last time Bungie had my balls in their hand was Halo Reach and Destiny 1. And how long ago were those games? I'm not gonna pull that up. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, but you get what I'm saying. It's been a very long time since Bungie has had my balls. All right. Don't me, okay, in the chat. Don't disregard my vernacular for that. But after 150 hours, yes, I would 100% recommend this game if you're willing to put in the time to get better at the game, learn how to play the game that's in a different capacity than most other extraction shooters, and if you are into a more battle royale like experience for an extraction shooter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are on the game if you've played it, and I hope to see you guys in game. Subscribe to the channel for more content, for more marathon content, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace. Okay, that's a lot of videos that I've done. I've done like 2 hours worth of yapping in videos. I have more to do yet before I even get to playing. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on. But woo, professional yapper. I'm just a guy that likes analyzing things, okay? I just like talking about things. I like hearing myself talk, bro. I do. But woo, I need to give my mouth a rest for a second. I definitely do. I definitely do. But anyways, what are you guys doing in the chat? What are y'all doing right now? Are y'all chilling? Ooh, excuse me. Chilling like a villain or no? Whew. There's also a video that I want to react to and kind of break down. I think that'd be really cool for a video, like in terms of you know, showing how this high level player plays, and like, you know, pointing it out for you guys to get better at the game, for myself to get better at the game, etc. You know, listening to their comms, listening to how they call out, things like that. But that might be a different day. Did a lot of yapping. My mind is like burnt right now. But I might honestly just end it there, just because there was a lot of yapping. I hope you guys, I mean, there was just a lot, and my mind is kind of fried. I don't know if I can entertain right now, to be honest. But yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and end it there, chat. And on Friday, we'll get into it more. Maybe play some more ranked on Friday, and maybe play some duos and whatnot. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.